Knowing the path. Walking the path. Staying on the path. Path to Sai.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan, dearest Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, especially the members and devotees and people from Region 3 in the United States of America who are hosting this beautiful retreat virtually, but so full of Swami. Please accept my heartiest greetings. And it has been a wonderful hour or so for me so far, having attended Brother Suresh Govind's talk on knowing the path. And now, knowing the path, what we do, we journey along the path. Let me begin by going down memory lane to a time when Swami announced with a lot of excitement and secrecy that he is ready to reveal the ultimate secret of all creation. Now, this was something that got everyone excited. But I say secrecy because Swami said, this I will not do in a public discourse. This I will do in the institute auditorium only for the students and, okay, teachers. And yes, maybe some administrators. Oh, so who will be allowed in the auditorium, who will not? That itself became a hot topic, and the students were all relieved because the students are allowed in. But which teacher, which administrator, who can go in? Can the VIPs go in? Oh, that began to be the discussion because Swami is going to be revealing the secret of creation, the ultimate secret. And every day when Swami would come for darshan, not every day, but now and then Swami would hint towards it. And Swami would say, when I reveal the secret, now that time I will tell about this also, I will tell about that also. So imagine Swami is eagerly looking forward for his own talk, for the divine discourse. So how much more will everybody be looking forward to it? Well, cutting a long story short, because I wish to convey so many things in this 1 hour that I have got, Swami finally came to the auditorium after all the people who will be allowed, and the auditorium was cramped and full. Everybody was cramping and sitting. It was filled to the extent possible. And then Bhagwan began his divine discourse. Of course, I am narrating all of this from the account that I have heard. I was not present for this. And as Swami began to deliver his discourse, people slowly began to relax and sit back because this is a usual discourse. There is nothing, extraordinary, out of the world that is coming from this. But then Swami, somewhere in the middle of the discourse, says, yes, and here is that secret that I said I will reveal to you. Immediately, everybody sits straight, the back is erect, the ears are perked up, everybody is alert now, waiting to listen to what Swami has got to say. And Swami says, I will just check. I hope the visual audio is all clear. Okay. I just got a confirmation about that. So, and now Swami says, the secret is this. I want all of you to remember and remind yourselves this day in and day out. I am not an animal. I am man. I am not animal. I am man. And it was such an anticlimax. Swami, the ultimate secret that will redeem us, so much build up, who will not be allowed, who will be allowed. And this, I'm not animal, I'm man. And then Swami says, and there's a second part to it that will be the ultimate redemption. Okay, this is it. Oh, that was just a prelude. Okay, now it's coming. What is that? And Swami says, the second part is, I'm not man, I'm God. Okay, Swami, nice, but Swami, this you've been telling in every discourse. What is, right? Swami says, you're divine, Divyatma Swarupulara, Prema Swarupulara. Every discourse he begins with this. So what is the, so what you built fanfare, Swami, and come on, tell us something that is amazing, that will give us bragging rights outside. No, this is it. I am not animal, I am man. I am not man, I am divine. Dear brothers and sisters, when we hear these statements, which Swami himself marketed as the ultimate secret that is enough for redemption, when we have faith in Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the Paripurna Kali Yuga avatar, our beloved Swami, then his words are the truth. This is enough for our redemption. But why did Swami have to do all this marketing, build up hype, and then again deliver it? Possibly with the hope that at least with all this marketing, we will accept it. Because when we look back at our own lives, dear brothers and sisters, multiple times in the talk before also it was referred to. Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunadi, as the scriptures say. We are involved only in these. Ahara, food, Nidra, sleep. Bhaya, fear, things that scare us. Maitunadi, that is reproduction. And that's it, the worldly thing. This is all we are involved in. As Swami would put it bluntly in his discourses, Khana, Pina, Sona, Marna. Eat, drink, sleep and die. And Swami would say, Din Kosama Mi Vidya is your education for this. Even animals do all of this without getting an education. This is how he would tell us students. Why are you earning degrees from the university for that? Is it for this? This animals do even without achieving it. And that is why the first part of the mantra, to remind ourselves, I'm not an animal. My life is not for khana, pina, sona, marna. Paisa kamana, earn more money, build relationships, grow in the career. That's all. We are all obsessed behind dhana, jana, yavana. Our physical looks, our mental abilities, our influence, our money, our relationships. That's all. And we do this all our life. Giving up what is most important, postponing what is most important. And that is why we need to know it first. Swami in a discourse says, how do you enter the spiritual path? How do you go on the spiritual path? He says, Jnatum, Drashtum, Tatvena, Praveshtum. Jnatum means to know. Drashtum means to see, to experience. After that, Praveshtum means to enter. We have seen the first part of this entering. Why we need to know. First of all we need to know that there is something to life beyond this khana pina sona marna. That is why I'm not animal, I'm a human being. I have the ability to discriminate. So that is the first stage, to know that there is something to life more than just this, more than what animals are doing. I'm not just a superior animal. And then we have to drashtum and praveshtum, which is to see what is there in life beyond this. And praveshtum is to enter. This subject gets a bit heavy and theoretical. And that is why I thought I will just share a story. A story the likes of which very few of you would have heard before, possibly. Truth is stranger than fiction. This is a story that is better than many of the fiction stories because this is the truth, the unvarnished truth. It is so powerful and it has been rarely spoken out. And that is why I thought I will share this story, because Swami inspired in my heart this conviction that if this story is shared, there is no need to give any message or deliver any dictum or quotes or anything like that. The story will make it evident as to what is it that we need to know, what is it that we need to experience, and therefore praveshtum, what is it that we need to enter on, what is this journey with Sai. Because what is this journey of life? The journey of life is meaningful only if it's a journey with Sai, and this story will teach that. I'm building it up a lot, right? I'm giving a lot of build up and marketing for the story because the story is very, very close to my heart. And I have narrated this only twice before, possibly. This is the third time I'm narrating it. And this story is about a gentleman whose name is Mr. Hari Hara Krishnan. I will call him Hari Uncle because that's how I call him. This is the story of Hari Uncle, and it's set back in the 1980s. So in the 1980s, Hari Uncle, a very devoted follower of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our dear Swami. How that happened is a story that is possibly beyond the scope of this talk. But as a devotee of Swami, he went to the Middle East, that is the country Bahrain. He went to Bahrain in order to earn a livelihood, in order to increase his livelihood, earn more money. He had sisters that needed to be wedded. He had his father's debts to be cleared. And with the blessings of Swami, newly married with just young kids, he had traveled to Bahrain. Nothing wrong in wanting a good life. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Chaturvidam bhajante mam. 4 types of people worship me. Who are they? First, Artha. Artha are those who are troubled, who are having sufferings. Artharthi. Artharthi are those who want progress, those who want to grow, those who want career enhancement, those who want to earn more, those who are desirous of worldly glory, money, and all of that. Jignasu. Jignasu are those that are tormented with existential questions. What is the meaning of this life? What is the purpose of life? What am I doing here? They also seek God. And ultimately, the Jnani. The Jnani is the one who has gone beyond Jnatum, Drashtum, and he's in Praveshtum. He's already entered the path. And he knows that the only solace, the only meaning in life, the only purpose in life is one. Everything else is at best a distraction, and at worst, a terrible enslavement. So those are the 4 kinds of devotees. In preparation of this talk, I just thought that these are the 4 types of devotees that exist among us who have come to Swami. When I came across this beautiful talk that Swami had delivered in the 1980s only again, and in that, Swami says about these 4 types of devotees, and he says, look, when someone is born, we call him a baby, and then we call him a boy, then we call him a man as time progresses, right? And finally, we call him grandfather. Are they 4 different people? The baby, the boy, the man, and the grandfather? No, they're all the same at different points in time. And then Swami says, so too, Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani. These are not 4 different people. It is the same being at different points in time, at different births. Yes, different births also. Because each one of us is an Artha. Each one of us is an Artharthi. We have had times when we have suffered, we are in pain, and we want Swami to give us solace. We want Swami to take us out of that difficult situation. We want Swami to grant us success. We want wealth. We want prosperity. At the same time, we want our questions answered. Deep questions that bother us, that burn us. When we come to our midlife crisis, we have been the Jignasus. And there have been those moments for us when we have been Jnanis as well. Those moments when we have felt completely at peace and joy, wanting nothing else in life. If only we could retain those moments and expand them to complete our whole life, nothing else will be needed. But that is why we do sadhana, to increase the frequency of such moments, to increase the length or duration of those moments. Let them be, if the duration is 1 hour, the frequency should be once every hour, so that we are always in permanent bliss and as jnanis. So this is relevant to all of us. All of us are arthas, all of us are artharthis, all of us are jignasus, all of us are jnanis. Hari Uncle also had gone there to Bahrain to do this. Now, he was working for NCR Corporation. NCR Corporation, an American company, exists even to this day. Back then, it was the largest producer and supplier of the ATM machines around the world. More than 50% market share. Huge, everywhere. In the Middle East, it was all NCR machines. this corporation. And being a chartered accountant, Hari uncle was working for NCR Corporation. And the NCR Corporation had got into a few tax issues in Kuwait. And Hari uncle used to frequently travel between Bahrain and Kuwait. And he also had a sponsor in Bahrain and Kuwait. You see, in the Middle Eastern countries, you need a sponsor, a person who stands guarantor for you, and a person who will be responsible for your actions. Without the sponsor, you can't go there. Without the sponsor, you can't work there. You can't own anything there. Anything that you own, more than 51% stake is with the sponsor. This is how they protect what they think is theirs and don't give it out to anyone. And Hari Uncle's sponsor in Kuwait had told him, yes, when you're leaving, just let me know. I will fax your visa to the airport. And so Hari Uncle, on behalf of the NCR Corporation, with this assurance from his sponsor, he went to the airport. Now, as he goes to the airport, he stopped there and he's asked for the visa. He says, no, my sponsor is going to be sending this. And he's shocked. They are shocked. They say, what do you mean your sponsor is going to fax a visa? Visa has to be here. Without this, you can't go. He says, okay, if I can't go, then I won't go. And then, as he's being led out of the airport, suddenly someone comes running with an AK-47 gun and tells them, come in, come in. Now Hari uncle is wondering where he's being taken. He's taken straight to an air-conditioned room, offered drinks, offered something to eat, and told, sir, please relax. You can directly go to the aircraft. Your sponsor has sent the message. His sponsor was Sulaiman. I'm simply calling him Sulaiman because I have been told not to name him. So Sulaiman was the Minister of Interior, but that was what the world knew. Hari uncle says that he was the head of the intelligence, the Kuwaiti intelligence. He was in direct contact with the Amir of Kuwait. And this person was Hari uncle's sponsor, so powerful that his stamp was enough. That is the visa, that is the passport, that is the anything that you need in Kuwait. And Hari uncle, much to everybody's shock, is led directly to the aircraft, no security check, nothing, directly to the business section of the aircraft where he is offered hospitality. I'm just telling you this to show that with love and devotion, with faith in Swami, Hari uncle had achieved the pinnacle of success. He was rolling in wealth, well settled, everything done, wanting nothing in life. Again, I have summarized so much that has happened. Hari uncle at the same time, he never lost his priorities. That is so important in our life. He was among the founders of the Sathya Sai International Organization in Bahrain. He had founded it along with Mr. Dwarkanath. Mr. Dwarkanath is currently settled in Bangalore, in the city where I reside currently, and he is in the Brindavan Bhajan group. He appears in one of the articles in the Sanatana Sarathi, which has the title Baba in Bahrain. Because, again, I don't have time to go into that story here. Swami appeared at his home in Bahrain. And when that came to Swami, Swami said yes, and that story was published in the Sanatana Sarathi. So he was one of the other founder. The third founder is Mr. Mr. Pasi. Mr. Pasi, who served as the Chief Financial Officer for the Central Trust for several years. So Mr. Vinod Pasi, Mr. Dwarkanath, Hari Uncle, all of them together founded the SSSIO in Bahrain. So though he had reached the pinnacle, he is a very humble, down-to-earth person, knowing that everything comes because of Swami. When I asked him, Uncle, you are such a brilliant person. How did you, achieve such a thing, and how did you manage to keep a level head? He said, very simple, Arvind. Because Lakshmi comes where? Lakshmi, goddess of wealth, goddess of prosperity. She's only at the feet of Narayana. So, if we are at the feet of Narayana, that is the Lord, our Swami, only at Swami's feet can we get this wealth and prosperity. The very fact that I'm having wealth and prosperity means I'm at the Lord's feet. It is because I'm with Lakshmi. This is what it is. So, no, 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 nothing. I should not let go of his feet. Absolute humility and completely no taking credit at all. Even while speaking, I said, Uncle, you're so brilliant. No, 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 Arvind, I'm not brilliant. Swami has blessed what to do. That's all. That's all. When Swami blesses, even a buffalo will speak. This is how Uncle speaks. I'm very, very touched and impressed by his humility. So he had reached this level and he used to frequently go to Kuwait, do all this. And then came a sudden offer. It was the 1st of August 1990. And Sulaiman, again, as I said, it's a changed name. So Sulaiman has invited Hari Uncle to his home in Kuwait. And where was the home? Next to the Salmiya complex. The Salmiya complex is it's right next to the Emir's, that is the ruler of Kuwait, his home, his palace, I mean, multi-room palace. So there only is this person is the top officer in the secret service. That's why he's there. He's housed there in the Salmiya complex, and he's talking to Hari Uncle. And he has also called in Hari Uncle's bosses. Basically, what has happened is Sulaiman wants to float a new company in which nearly half of the company will belong to Hari Uncle. And what will this company do? It will sell ATM machines for Kuwait. How? Where will it make these ATM machines? It will not make any ATM machines. It will buy the ATM machines from NCR Corporation and rebrand it and sell it at a margin. So basically become an intermediary between the government and this company, make money. That's all. And who will be heading the company? Sulaiman's son. Sulaiman's son will be heading it. Hari Uncle has to mentor Sulaiman's son. And you will get nearly half the stake in the company. Sit, mentor my son, make money. NCR Corporation bosses were very happy. They said to Hari Uncle, please go and join. Because, anyway, all the ATM machines will be ours only. So they are very happy with the deal. But this is when Hari Uncle began to think. He began to wonder about all this. He had come here so that his sister could get married, father's debts can be cleared. All that had already happened and so much more. He just felt hesitant in his heart. He said, Swami, these are just worldly things. It's a test. Dear brothers and sisters, when we start achieving success in life, there is no end to how much the mind will crave for. We have to remember it. This is one beautiful lesson I learned from Hari Uncle's life. Because at that point in its time itself, he began to think, no, 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 I don't want. So instead of grabbing the offer which his bosses are recommending, which the top man in Kuwait is saying, and now Hari Uncle is in Kuwait now. His family was not there in Kuwait when this offer came through. 1988, he had shifted to Kuwait. For almost 2 years, they had lived there. They were also housed in the Salmiya complex only. Can you imagine that? In the same Salmiya complex, they are staying. So at the zenith peak, and Kuwaiti dinar is the most valued currency in the world. You just go and check it. Even to this day, I think Kuwaiti dinar ranks top. So everything is there. But Hari Uncle says, let me think over it. He did not grab it with both the hands, as the saying goes, because he did not feel comfortable in his heart. Dear brothers and sisters, many things that we see in our life, many things that we experience in our life, in the depth of our heart, in our conscience, we already know what is right and wrong. It is just that we don't have the courage to follow, or we don't have the control over our senses and temptations to follow the conscience. Dear Swami, may all of us always have the strength and be able to resist the temptation of the mind to follow the conscience, Swami. Hari Uncle was blessed with that strength and he resisted. He said no. He said no to Sulaiman, and Sulaiman said, think it over, I give you only one night. Because if I'm your friend, what happens? If I'm not your friend, what happens? Yes. Just as a crown is put on your head with Sulaiman as your friend, with Sulaiman not as your friend, your same head will roll. Hari Uncle knows this, and yet he feels, no, I need to think about it. And that is how the night of the 1st of August ended. And for those of you who know history, you know how the morning of the 2nd of August began. Hari uncle was woken up early in the morning, not with the ringing alarm, but with an alarm in his heart, because the sounds that woke him up were those of exploding shells, bombs, bullets. Iraq had invaded Kuwait on the morning of the 2nd of August 1990. More than 100,000 soldiers, 300 plus tanks had rolled into Kuwait, and there was bloodshed on the street. There was traffic on the street, and the traffic was not of cars and buses and other vehicles, but of military tanks. And Hari uncle was now wondering what is happening. He could make out. He could make out these Iraqi tanks, and he said his every morning in the Brahma Muhurtam he had his prayers. He used to do his prayers. He did his prayers even before the Brahma Muhurtam, and his phone began to ring early in the morning. He picked up the phone. It was a colleague from NCR Corporation. His name was Ribi Al Shahar. Ribi Al Shahar was a person who lived in Palestine, and he had been used to the troubled times, war times, because Palestine is ravaged by so much war. He said, Hurry, listen, fill up water in as many vessels as you see, as much as you can. Go immediately, whatever you can, buy groceries, withdraw as much money you can from the ATMs, and sit tight and pray. I will call you back. This is the advice coming from a veteran who is living in a war ravaged place. And when Ribi Al Shah called this, Hari uncle knew that, my God, this is something terrible. And then he switched on the BBC radio as he did all of this. And on the BBC radio, he's getting to know what is happening, the invasion. And he got to know something that made him shiver. The Emir, along with Sulaiman, had already fled the country because Iraq had placed a bounty on their head. Their heads would fetch so much money. A bounty had been placed. And now Hari uncle was shivering, wondering what will happen, when they come and check his documents. The first page of his document has the stamp of Sulaiman. His greatest asset so far has now become his greatest liability. Dear brothers and sisters, life is so uncertain, life is so unpredictable. In a moment, our greatest asset becomes our greatest liability. Our best friend becomes the worst enemy. Our dear brother becomes somebody who hates us. Things that we can never imagine but will happen, because that is the nature of the world. And that is why Adi Shankaracharya says, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Don't be proud of your dhana, wealth, jana, people, influence, yauvana, youth. Don't be proud of this, because harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. In a moment, time will snatch it away. Very important lesson to learn as we take this journey of life. To know what is important. Dhana, jana, yavana, not important. In a moment, they can be taken away. And your greatest asset can become your greatest liability. That is what Hari uncle realized. His family was back in Madras. They had gone for the vacation. He quickly called up a cousin, and to his relief, international lines were still working. We have to remember that these were not the times of the cell phone. There was internet. No, nothing was there. It was a normal international dialing call. He made a call to his cousin and he said, listen, sometime later, you will see the news that Iraq has invaded Kuwait. I'm in Kuwait, but don't worry, I'm alive, I'm fine. Tell my wife, tell my family that I will be coming soon. Everything is fine. He reassured and kept the phone. That was just for reassuring. Now he was thinking what all he needs to do. By now, Saddam Hussein had declared that Kuwait is another part of Iraq only. It's another principality or another district of Iraq. Kuwait is Iraq. And he said by next day, everything should function properly. Everything should be functioning normally. There'll be 2 days curfew. After 2 days of curfew, everything should be functioning normally. Means it has to be back, everything business as usual, BAU, but not as a separate country, but as another state or another principality or another municipality in Iraq. Now, Hari uncle called up his bosses at NCR and they said, you know what, everything is insured. Just leave everything and leave the country. Okay, but how? But how? And Hari uncle thought, I will, if I leave, what about others? What about the others? A true leader always thinks about others as well. Others first, I am last. Swami would say, right? Sai. That's another principle in our journey of life. Let's always have S, Sai first, A, all others next, I last. Retrospectively, when we think of it, even if Hari uncle wanted to escape, there was no way to escape. The airports had already been closed. Every passing or every exit from the country of Kuwait was now being manned by Iraqi guards. There's no way he could have escaped. There's no way he can go out. That's retrospectively. But back then, without knowing it also, he decided that no, let me now first think about the people who are under me, who are working for NCR. He went about destroying all evidence, all the files, tearing, shredding them, especially of Americans, Europeans, whom Saddam is targeting Americans. He was targeting the Americans, so shredded it. He tried to call everyone, counsel them, and soon the phone lines went dead. The phone lines went dead. And then the 2 days curfew. In the 2 days curfew time, he has destroyed all evidence, everything. There are no files. Now the curfew is lifted. And now he's seeing soldiers go from door to door, door to door, door to door. He's seeing all houses, especially in the Salmia complex. The place which was supposed to be the greatest pride to be in becomes a hell on earth to be in. See how time changes. And he's now wondering whether he will be able to keep up his word. He told his cousin that I'll come back to India. How? Where is India now? So far. So far. I'm going to die here. Brother Suresh Govind also referred to it. Swami tells us there are two things that we must always remember: God and death. That's all. Nothing else is permanent. Death is something that brings fear, and God is one who will convert that fear into something purposeful and meaningful. That is what happened to Parikshit, right? When he got to know that he's about to die, he listened to the stories of Bhagavata and achieved moksha. Moksha is mohakshaya, freedom from attachment. It is not some state where you get a halo around the head and levitate. No. It is mohakshaya. No attachment and therefore no fear, no desire. Absolute bliss. Bliss is causeless happiness. You're happy without a cause. You don't need a cause to be happy. You're happy because that is your state. That is who you are. Prema Swarupa Lara, Ananda Swarupa Lara. And that made Hari uncle just sit in his altar and he said, Swami, I wish I could die in India, but I think I have to die here. Let me do the Vishnu Sahasranama. I'll take your name on my lips and let me go that way. And he closed his eyes and began to chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. Dear brothers and sisters, on any other day, this would be the time when he would go to work. He would go be sorting files, do so many things, meeting people, traveling, because these are important, right? These are important. But when death comes facing you, none of these are important. None of these are important. Why death? I read a saying which says, everything are worries and concerns till you have a medical concern, till you have a medical emergency. When you have a medical emergency, all your problems vanish because only that medical emergency is your problem. Then imagine the power of death. Everything else ceases. Everything else becomes meaningless. And dear brothers and sisters, all our life we are going behind this which is meaningless, worthless. Ultimately, when it came, Hari uncle sat doing Vishnu Sahasranama, chanting Om Shri Sai Ram. And that is the ultimate succor. Why do we hesitate to do that on a daily basis? Why do we hesitate to take Swami's name? Attend bhajans. Swami has been so gracious in giving us such a beautiful organization. I tell this, dear brothers and sisters, because when that moment of reckoning comes to us, I promise you, we won't be able to take God's name unless we have practiced for it. We can't run an Olympic 100 meters race. Though it takes only 10 seconds to run a race. Olympics, yeah, in 10 seconds, 11 seconds, the winner is decided. It takes only 11 seconds, but we can't run the race unless there's a lifetime of preparation. When the moment of reckoning comes, when the stress comes, when the things are kept at our neck, we won't be able to even think of Swami unless we have practiced our whole life. Yes. Swami tells the story of a man who is about to fall from a tree, and Mother Parvati says, Lord Shiva, you go and save him. Lord Shiva says, Mother Parvati, you go and save him. And then they decide that if he falls and shouts, Amma, Mother, I will go. If he shouts, Appa, meaning Father, Shiva, you go. And the man falls, hurts his leg, and he shouts, Ayyo. Swami says this is the plight of man today. Never he calls out to the divine mother, never he calls out to the divine father. Then how do you think you will remember Swami? We think that in our times of trouble we will, but just explore, let us explore our own lives. When we are in trouble, do we turn to Swami as the first resort? No, we try everything. When we are at our wits' end, everything tried and gone and nothing seems to be working. Oh, Swami, then we remember. When death comes, how will we remember Swami? We will be dividing our property, we will be thinking of Kavi. That's all, our family. This is what our thoughts will be. Unless we practice daily. And luckily, Hari uncle had been practicing that. So this is what he did. This is what he did full time there, chanting the name. And then nothing happened. Nobody enters his home. The death that he is waiting for doesn't come. So what does he do? He takes one small bag, puts a couple of clothes, one of the silk saris, wedding silk saris of his wife, Uma auntie, puts that in the bag, sentimental reason. And with that cloth bag, just walks out of this palatial house, palatial place that he called his home. And he says, Swami, may the next occupant of this home have peace. That is how he leaves. That is how he leaves. And it's a poignant moment for him. He realizes all that he has accumulated in his life, all that he has built up in his life, just has to leave it, walk out. Very, very poignant. He doesn't take a car also because his car has got all those VIP plates, which is a danger now. Walks with slippers, with one bag. Hari uncle could carry that bag. Dear brothers and sisters, when the final moment of reckoning comes, we won't be able to carry even that bag. What are we accumulating? What are we gathering all our life? What are we doing in this journey of life? Hari uncle goes to his cousin Ananta Padmanabha. His cousin is there. He goes to his house. His cousin, his wife, his kids, his whole family is there. And there to that home, later on, even Ribhi comes. Ribhi Al-Shair, whom I spoke about, that person, Jordanian, right? And there's one Mr. Kirit Gandhi also, another friend and colleague, he comes. Then there's one Salim from Kerala, he with his family, all of them come. They're all gathered in this one home. They want to plan what to do next. And Hari uncle says, listen, all of you take Vibhuti. That alone will save us. And these people, again, as I said, Hari uncle is not a person who can be hidden. His expression of devotion and love for Swami has been such that even non-devotees like Mr. Kirit Gandhi, Mr. Salim, all of them, they also have faith in Hari's God. In fact, Mr. Kirit Gandhi is telling to others, hey, nothing will happen to us. Hari is there, no. Hari Sai Baba is there, no. He's very powerful. He'll take care of Hari, so we are with Hari, we'll also get taken care of. See, this is the amazing thing about faith and devotion, dear brothers and sisters. It's infectious. It's infectious. That's why Swami would say a time will come. He has written this in an inspired message to Charles Penn. This is the message. He says, a time will come when my darshan will flow through you and from you. That is what starts happening when we start living with Sai in our heart. We go searching for Swami in this pilgrimage place, that place. We have to travel. No, 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 no. We have to travel inward, inside, and we'll find Swami. And once that happens, that faith, that devotion is infectious. That is another reason why I feel we should gather together, like in retreats like this, in the Sathya Sai organization, in the centers, because such lit lamps are there walking across. Their faith will inspire faith in us. Their devotion will inspire devotion in us. It becomes a synergy, that divine energy. And that is how everyone were there, and they were asking Hari Uncle what we should do. And Hari Uncle checked with, my time is going so fast. Basically, Ribi al Shahar said that let's drive to Jordan, Amman. How to go to Amman? From Kuwait via Iraq. Via Iraq! From the frying pan into the fire, yes. And Hari Uncle says, yes, we will do that. And let us do it on 9th, that is tomorrow. Because 9th is a Thursday. Swami's day. Oh, everyone said, yes, yes. 9th of August. And thus, on the 9th of August, as planned, a convoy of 4 cars. First car belonging to Ribi al-Shahr. Second car is Ananta Padmanabha and his family and Hari Uncle. Third car is Kirit Gandhi and his family. Fourth car is Salim and his family. Each car 100 meters apart. They're driving as a convoy. Their goal is to drive out of Kuwait, into Iraq, through Iraq, and there. And as they're driving, Hari Uncle says, every 1 hour, we will take Vibhuti and chant Om Shri Sai Ram 10 times. Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. That's it, 9 times. Everyone agrees. Vibhuti, Namasmarana. Vibhuti, Namasmarana. In the journey of life also, the one that gives us courage and that one that takes away fear, Vibhuti, Namasmarana. Let us always have Vibhuti. Let us always have the name of the Lord on our lips. And they're driving and driving and driving. After driving and reaching almost near the Iraq-Kuwait border, there the first car is stopped. And in Ribi al-Shahr's car, one military officer gets in and drives away. And now only 3 cars are left. What do we do? They were supposed to follow, right? Hari Uncle is in the second car. He says, no, let us not follow him. He has gone with the Iraqi general. Whichever direction he took, let's take the opposite direction. And they take the opposite direction. They don't know where that road goes because Hari Uncle doesn't know these roads. He cannot read any of those signs that are written in that language. They just drive. And any time they come to a junction, Om Shri Sai Ram, take Vibhuti and choose one path. Choose a path and go in that road. And they drive like this and finally reach a military manned gate. And they get to know this is the final gate to leave Kuwait. And there the man comes with his AK-47 machine gun. And he's walking and he's coming to the car. And Hari Uncle takes quickly Vibhuti, Om Shri Sai Ram, lowers the glass. And that soldier, looks at Hari Uncle and says, raise your hand like this, the Abhayasta pose. Raise it like this. And Hari Uncle raises his hand, his right hand, like that. When he does that, immediately the gate opens. Why? Because when he raises the hand, there's a soldier there who is manning the gate, who sees Hari Uncle's hand and he opens. And that soldier tells Hari Uncle, there will be 15 gates like this. 14 more are there to come. Raise your hand, they will open the gate. Understood? Yes. 15 gates through Iraq, he says, to raise your hand. Who else? Jai Sai Ram, and they proceed. And that is how they drive and they reach Basra, the city of Basra. And when they reach the city of Basra, Hari Uncle is just overwhelmed. He's wondering how did they manage hundreds of kilometers in the desert and reach this city, because no way, they have just been randomly taking the roads. Dear brothers and sisters, with faith in Swami, when we proceed, it might look random, but Swami is guiding our every step. Let us remember that. Let us never forget that. Hari Uncle was guided to the city of Basra in Iraq. And there, they had prepared some idlis at home. And they had fed the children cough syrup. Cough syrup, lots of cough syrup, so that they go to sleep. Benadryl, drink and sleep. Don't wake up, because we are going through the war. We are directly driving through tanks and army people and bullets. Of course, they're listening to the updates on the BBC radio, and they've kept the BBC radio in full volume because, it's better to listen about the war than the actual war that's happening outside the windows. So they reach Basra, and Hari Uncle tells, I'll go and buy some water and come. He gets down. It's a car with Kuwaiti registration. Okay. And they're in Iraq, Basra, and they go. He gives Kuwaiti dinars. Kuwaiti dinars, as I said, is so valued. He gives 10 dinars. He wants to buy 20, 30 liters of water, but that will arouse suspicion. So he buys just a few liters of water. And that person counts and gives back 190 odd Iraqi dinars as change. And then, as Hari uncle is walking out, he sees the most poignant scene. There's a Kuwaiti gentleman who comes and wants to buy the same water and biscuits. But that person refuses to serve him because you're Kuwaiti. If I do something to you, I'll get beheaded by Saddam Hussein. So he refuses. And this man opens his suitcase filled with Kuwaiti dinars. That is millions of US dollars right there. And he says, take this wad of currency, give me water and biscuit. And the man says, take your money and get away soon or else I'm going to call now. And he picks up the phone to call. The Kuwaiti man shuts his suitcase, takes the money, holds it under his arm and runs away. And Hari uncle just breaks down over there in tears. And he says, what is the use of this wealth that can't buy you water to drink? And he thinks of Swami and he says, Swami, let me earn only that currency that has value in your kingdom, Swami. Let me not gather and accumulate that currency which doesn't have any value in your kingdom. What a irony, what a pity. He's still clutching to that and he's running. Throw it, burn it as firewood. It's of no value. Dear brothers and sisters, may we also earn that currency which has value in Swami's kingdom. What is the use of earning any other currency? Valueless, worthless it is. 100%. Any other currency will bring us only tears of sorrow. Let us earn only that currency which Swami accepts, the currency of love, the currency of service. Having witnessed this, Hari uncle gets back into the car. He's in a very, very moved state. It's 9 p.m. when they have reached Baghdad. They have reached via Al Fallujah. And I'm sorry, Basra. This was Basra, right? So from Basra, they start driving. And they reach the town of Karbala, via Najaf. So Basra to Najaf, Najaf to Karbala. This is also the month of Muharram, it had begun the month of Muharram, and this day, the 10th, turned out to be the day of Ashura, the day of great, mourning for Hussein, and they are mourning like that, and for that, processions are going, and in that procession, here are three luxury cars, air conditioned, driving. And they're thudding, wondering what will happen. They're driving through the streets of Karbala. In fact, Muharram, that Karbala is a city. That is the epicenter of this whole massacre that had happened centuries before. So you can wonder, there they are in the heart of that city, driving their cars, and nothing happens to them. Nothing happens to them. The Lord's protection is supreme. They go through that. They go through the city of Karbala and then they reach Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. They're in Baghdad. And then Hari uncle gets down from the car. This is 9 p.m. on the 9th. And he goes to somebody randomly and asks, we want to go to Amman in Jordan. How do we go? People think he's crazy. But again, this is an inspired thought. He doesn't know why he feels like asking. He asks this. And that person says, oh, Baghdad, why did you come to Baghdad if you want to go to Amman? You should go to Samara. Go to Samara, the city of Samara. Oh, okay, thank you. We'll go to the city of Samara. And gets back into the car. They have traveled 600 kilometers so far without getting lost. And from the city of Baghdad, they now start driving towards Samara. The journey to Samara. It reminds me of that little literary piece written by Somerset Maugham. It's called The Appointment in Samara. I don't know if you are aware of it. Let me quickly share what happens. In this appointment in Samara, there is a servant who goes to the market in Baghdad and he sees a beautiful woman there. And she smiles at him. But then when she turns around, so ugly she is, and this man realizes that that is death. So he runs to his master and says, Master, death has smiled at me. The master says, oh, you know what? Take my fastest horse and go to Samara. That is the way to escape death. So he takes his master's fastest horse and goes to the city of Samara from Baghdad. This is a story written by Somerset Maugham. This is also, a reference is made in the Talmud, the Holy Scripture Talmud, that Talmud says, the feet take you where destiny has written. Where you are destined to go, the feet automatically take you there. Why am I referring to the Sukkah 53a of the Talmud over here? Because as the servant goes to Samara, this master goes to the market and meets that same beautiful woman, Death. She doesn't smile at him, and he asks her, why did you smile at my servant? And she says, I didn't smile at your servant. I smiled in confusion and wonderment because I am supposed to pick him up at Samara tonight. He's still in Baghdad. I wondered how will he get to Samara. You see, now do you understand why the feet lead you where destiny is supposed to take you? That's why it's called the appointment at Samara. Yes, that's what happens. The servant rushes to Samara to his death. He meets with an accident on the way and dies at Samara. And why am I telling this story which Somerset mom has written? Because as Hari uncle and their car, they were driving right throughout Namasmarana and Vibhuti, Namasmarana and Vibhuti. But at the wheel, Ananta Padmanabha dozes off, goes off the road. The car bangs into something. Sai Ram! Uncle shouts. At that moment, to shout Sai Ram, as I said, you need a lifetime of practice doing Sai Ram. That Sai Ram is what wakes up Ananta Padmanabha. He turns the car just inches away from the precipice. The car stops. It is damaged. The headlights are gone. One is gone. The car is banged. But nothing happens. The appointment at Samara had been cancelled because of Sairam. Samara, when it becomes Sairam, everything is cancelled. This is so symbolic in this journey of life. Death is overcome with the name of the Lord. They are saved. And though the car is damaged, Hari uncle says, let us continue in this car. It is a special car blessed by Swami. And so from Samara, they continue, they head out, and shortly, when they actually reach Samara. In the appointment at Samara, they had the person had not reached Samara. They reach Samara. It's 2 a.m. They quickly check in a hotel. 2 hours, refresh themselves. 4 a.m. again they start off. And finally, cutting a long drive short, they have, in this meanwhile, gone across 13 crossings. 13 crossings. And everywhere what? Just Abhayasta. Abhayasta, wife here when Sai is here, and they cross. That is how they have crossed all of these. And finally, they reach the 14th crossing. And again, Hari uncle raises his hand in Abhayasta. But no, the soldier comes. He tells to lower the glass. And can you believe it, dear brothers and sisters? The soldier says, your petrol tank is empty. Next 200 kilometers, there's nothing for you. Go fuel and come back. How did he know petrol tank is empty? And then he asks, can I take that magazine? And Hari uncle looks, there's one magazine, Mangayar Malar. It's a Tamil magazine, women's magazine it is. And this person is asking for the magazine. You take anything that is in the car. Just let our life be there enough. That is Hari uncle's attitude. Please take the magazine. He takes the magazine. The soldier takes the magazine. And they turn the car around to go to the gas station to fuel up the car. They fuel their car and again they come back and again Hari uncle raises his hand. The soldier comes and gives the magazine to Hari uncle. He returns back the magazine. Okay, he receives. And when Hari uncle receives the magazine, he's overwhelmed. Because there in that Tamil Mangayar Malar magazine is a picture of Swami, both hands raised. Can you believe that? It is an advertisement for Ra Ganapati's book on Swami, Baba Sathya Sai. Photo of Swami raising both hands. And the soldier is giving that there. Hari uncle receives it, keeps it in the car. Do you need any more evidence? Who makes the journey worthwhile? Who protects us during the journey? Nothing else is worthwhile. They reach the Turbil crossing after 200 kilometers journey. This is the last crossing, after which there's another 100 odd kilometers of desert, and then there's Jordan. When they reach Turbil crossing there, it is 11th of August. It is 11 a.m. And the person says, wait there, what do you want? He says, we want to cross out. We are Indians, we want to go out. He says, no, wait. 5 p.m. boss will come, you can come at 5 p.m. Till then you sit in the car. Okay. Listen, there's a toilet over there. If you want, you can go to the toilet. Go one at a time. If two of you go, we'll shoot you down. Because that is a place where everywhere guns are there, huge cannons are there, tanks are going around, patrolling is going on. This is how they're waiting. They wait. 5 o'clock on the 11th. Hari uncle takes out a white handkerchief. He's waving it. He tells them, don't get down from the car. No toilet, nothing. Let's go. It has almost been 4 or 5 nights since Hari uncle has slept. Because all the while organizing this, doing Namasmarana through the night, everything. And finally at 5 p.m. on the 11th, he goes and tells, I want to cross. And he says, no, 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 no. The boss has said, you go back. Go back wherever you came from. No going. He says, please, I can't go back where I came from. Let us go across. Okay, the boss himself will come tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Come at tomorrow 11 o'clock. So he goes back to the car. Again, whole night, only Namasmarana. Just sitting in the car. 3 cars, they're just sitting there. 12th at 11 a.m. Again, Hari uncle with his white handkerchief goes. They've not even gone to the toilet. But you know what Hari uncle told me? He's on the night of the 11th. On the night of the 11th, Hari uncle said, I stopped making any more efforts. Swami, you are the one who have got us through. Whatever you will, let thy will be done. Karishye vachanam tava. Karishye vachanam tava. Let your will be done. After saying this is when Arjuna got peace in his heart. Saying this, Hari uncle relaxed. And for the first time in almost a week, fell asleep. Deep, peaceful sleep. Peacefully slept. A sleep that he had not got in the most comfortable of cushions and beds in the plush, luxurious palatial home. He is getting that in a minefield amidst guns and tanks and army officers. That is the power of surrendering to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord means to say, Lord, your will be done. I don't have any desires of my own. Whatever you wish, I'm fine. And the next day at 11 o'clock, he goes. I might take 3-4 minutes additionally just to complete the story. So the next day at 11 o'clock, he goes to meet this boss. And when he goes there, there's a burly Iraqi officer sitting behind a large mahogany desk. Phones are there, dozens of phones. All of them are ringing. All of them are ringing. Different, he's picking, different talking, keeping. What do you want? We want to cross. Come sit, he says. Give your passports. Hari uncle has carried all the passports. So he gives all the passports. He has kept his passport in the last because his passport has that dreaded stamp, right? Of Sulaiman, which will get him into trouble here because Sulaiman is a wanted person. And this is Sulaiman's man. To his horror, this person throws away all the passports, throws away meaning puts them aside and picks only Hari uncle's passport and opens it. And there is Sulaiman's stamp. And Hari uncle knows it's all over. Immediately, the Iraqi general, he gets up and he says, thumping the desk, he says, you know who I am? I am the right-hand man of Saddam Hussein. If you're my friend, you can rule. If you're not my friend, your head will roll. You know that? He knows it. And that dialogue seems so familiar because the person because of whom his head is going to roll now had said the same thing. Right, dear brothers and sisters? Hari also stands up because Hari uncle is standing up because how can he be sitting when he stands up? Now that burly man comes to Hari uncle and says, I don't know why, but I like you. And just hugs Hari uncle. Hugs him tight. Takes his passport first. Puts his personal stamp. And he says, come and go from Iraq as and when you want. You're my friend. Hari uncle had tears in his eyes and this person thought that he's overwhelmed. He was overwhelmed, but not because of this Iraqi general. He realized the power of the eternal companion. If Swami is there, arch enemies becomes friends. Nobody, nothing else matters. Swami alone matters. And he said, how will you go to Kuwait? How will you go out of Iraq? These are Kuwait registration cars. Now Kuwait is part of Iraq. You can't take this car out of Iraq now. We will walk. Are you crazy? It's 150 odd kilometers of desert. No, no, we will walk. Please let us go. Crazy guys. He says, yeah, let them go. And Hari uncle goes to the car and tells all of them, just walk out of the car, follow me, don't do anything, just we'll walk. And they walk, and Hari uncle knows that he is leading them to the to their death now. It is desert. What will they do? 140 kilometers. How will they walk? They just have a little bit of water. Vibhuti is also over. Vibhuti can get over, but Namasmarana, Sai Nama will never get over. He keeps chanting Swami's name. And they ask him, what do we do? He says, we'll go. Swami has arranged transportation for us. What transportation? Hari uncle also doesn't know. They walk across and they walk. 2 minutes later, an air conditioned empty bus is coming their way. There's a conductor who is shouting, who wants to go to Amman? Who wants to go to Amman? We all want to go to Amman. Come right in. An air conditioned bus takes them to Amman. Hari uncle is put up in a 5-star hotel in Amman there because NCR Corporation has said that. He spent the day there, and Hari uncle meets Ribi Al Shair there, Ribi who was taken away. He had been taken away. He befriended the general there and he came off to Amman in a shortcut. So they all have a happy reunion there. And there's a newspaper clipping of Hari uncle, Ananta Padmanabha, Kirit Gandhi. They were the first 3 Indians to return to India from Kuwait. And they returned on the 15th of August 1990. There's a newspaper clipping of the 16th of August which announces their arrival. 15th of August is Independence Day in India. True day of freedom for all of them. And Hari uncle says it was the day of independence when we became dependent on what is within. In conclusion, dear brothers and sisters, in this journey of life, nothing else matters. Anything we are doing other than things that make us focus on Swami, things that remind us of Swami, is a waste of time. Life is very precious. It is ebbing away every second. Let us not lose that. In this journey with Sai, what is most important is already there in the phrase Sai. Nothing else matters. Let us do every action for Swami. Let us think every thought for Swami. Let us speak every word for Swami. And dear Swami, may the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.